My parents actually both come from different countries. My mom comes from the Philippines, while my dad comes from Vietnam. They both actually came to Canada in the early 80s as refugees. My mom started her first job as a babysitter, while my dad worked in the factory. Um, Both my parents didn't really go too far in terms of their education back home. My mom just completed first year university, while my dad only completed high school before coming to Canada. Their transition, my mom's transition, wasn't that bad. Actually, she was sponsored by a church, which basically guided her coming to the country. While my dad, on the other hand, was sponsored by a church, but had a little tougher journey towards the country here. He actually made detours at different other countries in Asia before arriving to Canada. The situations both my parents had to deal with mainly were the language barrier and their family being back home at the time. So since both my parents were the first in their families to actually arrive to Canada, they didn't really have anyone to talk to. My mom's first job in Canada actually was a babysitter. She uh, she was a babysitter for a Canadian family, so she eventually picked up the language over time. And her immediate family was still back home. Her brother, sister, mom, dad weren't in the country. And until this day, only her cousins and aunts and uncles are here, not her immediate family. So that was a struggle for her from her transition coming here. My dad, on the other hand, he hardly knew a word of English as well. Um, uh, Once he arrived to Canada, however, he was forced to work in a factory, and being sponsored by a church, they offered him English courses to take. So I guess he learned quickly at a faster rate through these courses. And regarding the family being back home struggle, my dad actually didn't see his immediate family for about 10 years before they arrived to Canada. So that must have been a struggle at the time. I guess growing up, my brother and I were a pain in the butt having to deal with. In fact, my mom was working overnight shifts while I was growing up, and my dad was working full 12-hour day shifts. So it got to the point where my grandma actually had to come pick my brother and I up after school every single day, and we'd have to go to her place until my dad finished work and my mom woke up from her sleep after her long overnight shifts. But that was then. But now I think they can manage us much better now that we have responsibilities, we have jobs. Um, I think the financial burden uh, is eliminated.
Okay, that works.
What I'm most proud of with my parents is how much they care about my brother and I. They're always pushing us to study hard, to work hard, in order to be successful and to achieve our goals. They've been through the struggles, they've been through the hardships, raising us the past 20 years, and I can honestly say I just want to make them happy.